When we hear the word samurai, we imagine men armored in steel, katana flashing, banners flying. But behind the walls of castles and within besieged homes, there lived women who carried blades, wore armor, and fought with the same courage as their husbands and sons. These women were the Onna Bugeisha, the forgotten women samurai of Japan. From the earliest days of the warrior class, women were never passive. While men rode to war, women guarded households, raised children, and ensured the clan's survival. Yet when danger arrived, they also stood with weapons in hand. Their battlefield might be a courtyard, a castle wall, or a burning gate, but their spirit was the same as the samurai who fought on open plains. The weapon that defined the Onna Bugeisha was the naginata. Long, graceful, and deadly, it gave women reach against cavalry and power against armored foes. Its sweeping strikes could hold off groups of enemies, while its curved blade cut through armor and flesh alike. To the women of samurai families, the naginata was more than a weapon. It was a symbol of duty. Even today, naginata practice remains tied to women, a reminder of their warrior past. But no warrior relied on a single weapon. Samurai women also carried the tanto or kaiken, a short dagger. This blade was both a last line of defense and a symbol of ultimate loyalty. In desperate moments, it was used to protect the home. In defeat, it was used for jigai, ritual suicide, a choice of death over dishonor. Just as men had seppuku, women had their own ritual, preserving dignity in the face of loss. History gives us glimpses of extraordinary Onna Bugeisha. Tomoe Gozen, who fought in the Genpei War of the 12th century, is remembered as the greatest of them all. Described in the Heike Monogatari as both beautiful and terrifying, she was said to be a warrior worth 1,000. She commanded men, fought duels, and struck fear into her enemies. Tomoe became legend, proof that women could embody the samurai spirit as fully as men. Another was Hangaku Gozen, who defended a fortress during the Kenin Rebellion of the 13th century. She led soldiers into battle with her naginata, cutting down enemies until she was wounded and captured. Even in defeat, her courage was so admired that her captors spared her life. Hangaku became another symbol of female valor, a reminder that bravery knows no gender. As Japan descended into the Sengoku period, the age of warring states, the need for women warriors grew. With men constantly at war, castles and villages were left vulnerable. Chronicles tell of women standing on walls, firing arrows, dropping stones, and wielding naginata against invaders. They organized defenses, rallied servants, and fought to the last when their homes were breached. Though many of their names are lost, their actions shaped the survival of clans across Japan. The values of Bushido, loyalty, courage, and honor, applied to women as well as men. They were taught that loyalty to family and lord came before life. Mothers raised children with these values, ensuring the next generation carried the spirit of discipline and sacrifice. In their hands, the way of the warrior was preserved not only on the battlefield but in the household itself. One of the most striking examples came centuries later in the 19th century. Nakano Takeko, a young woman of the Aizu domain, led a unit of female warriors during the Boshin War of 1868. Armed with naginata, her group, the Joshitai, charged imperial forces in open battle. Nakano killed several enemies before being struck by a bullet. Refusing capture, she asked her sister to behead her, dying with honor. Her bravery reignited the memory of the Onna Bugeisha, showing that even in the modern age of rifles, the spirit of women warriors endured. These women were not anomalies. They were part of a long tradition that stretched from the Heian period to the fall of the samurai class. They proved that courage, loyalty, and sacrifice were not the sole domain of men. The Onna Bugeisha may have been forgotten in many chronicles, but their spirit never vanished. The long peace of the Tokugawa shogunate beginning in the 17th century, gradually reshaped the role of the Onna Bugeisha. With large-scale wars ending, opportunities for women to fight diminished. But martial traditions did not vanish. They transformed. The naginata, once a weapon of survival, became a discipline taught to noble women as part of their upbringing. It trained posture, elegance, and readiness, blending martial utility with cultural refinement. In this way, the spirit of the Onna Bugeisha lived on, even as battlefields grew silent. For women of samurai families, the dagger, the kaiken, remained a constant companion. Mothers gave them to daughters on their wedding day, not as decoration, but as a reminder of duty. If their new households fell, if capture was certain, the dagger preserved their honor. Many women carried them tucked inside their robes, symbols of both vulnerability and strength. In this sense, every samurai woman walked with steel close to her heart. The cultural memory of Onna Bugeisha shifted into legend. Tomoe Gozen appeared in plays, songs, and woodblock prints, her story retold as both history and myth. Hangaku Gozen's name survived in Chronicles of Rebellion, her courage admired centuries later, and Nakano Takeko became a symbol of resistance, her statue standing today near the site of her final battle. Each generation remembered them differently, but always as proof that women could embody the same honor as men. Historians are now uncovering more about these women. Archaeological finds at battle sites suggest female armor and weapons were more common than once believed. Clan records, long overlooked, tell of women commanding servants and villagers in times of crisis. These discoveries reveal that the Onna Bugeisha were not rare exceptions, but an integral part of the samurai world. Their legacy extends beyond history. In modern Japan, the naginata is still practiced, often by women. Schools and dojos preserve techniques that trace back to medieval times, transforming an ancient weapon into a modern martial art. Through these practices, the discipline, elegance, and strength of the Onna Bugeisha are passed down anew. And beyond Japan, their stories inspire films, novels, and anime. They challenge the stereotype of a purely male warrior class and remind us that the spirit of the samurai was broader than tradition admits. They represent resilience, honor, and the power of duty, values that transcend gender and era. The Onna Bugeisha were mothers and wives, daughters and sisters. But they were also warriors, defenders, and leaders. Their courage preserved families, their blades defended castles, and their choices defined honor. They remind us that history is never only the story of men. It is the story of all who carried the weight of duty, who faced death with dignity, and who chose loyalty over life. The forgotten women, samurai deserve to stand alongside their male counterparts in memory. They fought with steel in their hands and honor in their hearts, and though their names may be fewer, their legacy is eternal.